If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock.
Everybody's doing it. Hello, friends. Welcome back to a little bit of Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris, your host, your pal, wrestling art guru. Guru is such a weird word. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, but this is the podcast. This is the little old thing where I ramble on about my art, generally a fair bit about wrestling as well. But yeah, so this week we've got we had our latest wrestling club, that being the in-person events that I host at my favourite bar in the whole wide world, the Scratch, in Brisbane, Queensland, and I play a bunch of all sorts of my favourite eclectic weird wrestling. We have some people go along, we have some beers, and it's a nice time. And what I've started doing with this little podcast here is, incorporating some audio from the night that was, going through the playlist of what we happened to play and what we thought of all of the things. So I'll be being joined by Perfect Attendance Wrestling Club member Joe shortly to go over the playlist that was. But in the meantime, I thought we'd start things out by having my little what's going on in the world of Chris Things intro monologue. So I thought I'd get you caught up. It's been a hot minute since last week's episode did not come out due to technical difficulties. My apologies there. I'll have to remedy that in some fashion next week or something. We'll see how we go. The other big thing that happened since last week that I haven't been able to talk to you about till now is we've got a competition happening. Yeah, so we made it to our big 100th match of the week the other week. So that being the weekly illustration that I do and I post to my Instagram, Chris Things on Instagram, as well as christhings.com.au. My favourite match of the week, where I draw the match, and that's also part of this podcast, I guess. But yeah, so we got to the big 100th edition, 100 weeks of doing this illustration series, which is pretty wild. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty proud of that, of the consistency of forcing myself to do that, no matter what I got on, what holiday, what country I'm in, where I'm at. No matter what, every week I made sure that I was accountable to do this. So I'm proud of that. And I think looking back at 100 of these things, it's an interesting thing to see how my art sort of illustration has evolved over that time. An interesting thing to look at my wrestling tastes over that period. So I do try to keep this as honest as possible, and it's legitimately just like my favourite match that I happened to watch that week. So yeah, it's a fun little thing to look back at. But in honour of getting to the big 100th, I thought I needed to do something a little bit special. So I'm doing a giveaway competition. So that being the pick your favourite match of the week competition, so getting people to pick their favourite match or illustration of the series that I've done so far. Pick your favourite of the big 100, and the winner I'll be drawing out of a hat this Friday, and that being this Friday in Australia, by the way. So I believe that's Thursday, going to be probably like Thursday late night in America time. But yeah, so you pick your favourite one, or we'll pick the lucky winner out of a hat. And yeah, we'll see how we go. But thank you so much for all the entries that I've received so far. Much appreciated. It's always really nice, like, I guess with this competition, sort of getting to see the things that people like the most. And yeah, it was quite fascinating to me which ones had that sort of, like staying power, I guess. But no, been lovely to see. So thank you so much, everybody. By the time this podcast goes up, people will still probably have a little hot minute to get any more entries in, if you'd like. If not, whatever, keep playing along at home. But no, it was a very nice thing to get to that benchmark, get to that big 100. It was cool to do. But yeah, I have no plans of stopping anytime soon. It's a really fun thing for me to do. It's nice to have something that forces you to create something new every week. That's the whole deal of this, and I feel like it's really, fast forwarded my art career in doing so. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Other than that, we had a fantastic Lucha Fantastica event in Brisbane the other week. That was just so nice at Eaton's Hill Hotel Ballroom, and it just made me so happy to get to have such a cool event in my hometown. I do still classify Brisbane as my hometown, even though I live up here in the hills of the Sunshine Coast these days. But I think the Lucha Fantastica thing is such a fun deal for me to be part of, and it's so my honour to get to have my art be a small part of this Lucha Fiesta, as it were. So thank you if anyone's listening, to anyone that happened to be there and buy something, or even just have a lovely little chat. Really had a good time. Other than that, I've been working away at a bunch more commission stuff that hopefully I'll be able to share with you in the near future. And also, the big exciting thing, I've just finished up an artwork submission for another Mexican group art show in Mexico City. So beyond honoured to be part of that. Like I said, big thank you to Porta Veritas for getting me onto that. The Virgencitas Luchonas Mexican group art exhibition at the Pulque Museum. As a big fan of Pulque, I'm very excited for that. But yeah, it's like the concept is like the Virgin Saint Luchadoras. So I got to have a lot of fun with such an interesting and specific concept. So yeah, stay tuned to all of my things for updates on that, and I might even give you a little bit of a snippet of that artwork soon. Anyway, that's about us for now. If you'd like to support, christhings.com.au is the way to find us, but let's get ready for some wrestling club goodness. Alright, over to Chris and team at the Scratch this past Sunday night.
From my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a little bit of wrestling club. thank you. So today we got another little special one. Today it's happened that today is Father's Day, and it's a Father's Day edition of Wrestling Club. So we may have some special father and son moments to look forward to tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see what we have. Yeah, no, we will. I put the playlist together, so yeah. I actually had a lot of fun putting the playlist together this time. When you're trying to do something like that, like you can kind of do some like creative stuff, and I was really trying to get into the depths of wrestling father and son kind of things. So hopefully there's some stuff tonight that y'all haven't seen before, or if you have, you'll get to lovingly watch again. But yeah, I hope we've got some weird eclectic stuff, like as always. As again, we have the things here, the Chris Things art. If you want to procure anything, please hit me up through the evening. I got my pay square. But yeah, let's enjoy some wrestling together, everybody. Yay! Magazine, diagrams and charts, mending broken hearts and making weird signs. Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back to our latest little thing we're doing, where we have a special Wrestling Club recap, where I am joined with our perfect attendance Wrestling Club member, Joe, to do a little bit of a debrief on the playlist. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Afternoon, Chris. How are you?
I am pretty good. Yep, it is our afternoon here in Australia. I'm sipping on a black coffee to keep myself alive and alert for the day. How are you going? King of the beverages.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we started recording, we did just touch on, this is probably a good time for me to let everyone else know that the last podcast I attempted to record with my dear pal David last week, managed to record the entire thing without any of his audio. So suffice to say, that was the reason for our technical difficulties this past week. But let's hope for better this time, right?
Oh, fingers crossed. Touch wood. All the rest of it.
Yeah, it's like, am I cursing us by saying that?
Probably.
Anyway, we have a heck of a playlist to go over here. So before we hear from the much drunker versions of ourselves, of our favourite match of the night that was, I feel like we could run through our little old playlist here. Any memories, anything that comes to light, anything that we thought of it. But yeah, so this whole thing, I guess, was themed as our Father's Day edition of the Wrestling Club. This did happen to be Father's Day in Australia. Still weird to me that we have a different, complete different months and dates for that here compared to the other side of the world.
Do they? Is it not the same in America, North America?
As far as I'm aware, I feel like they just have a complete ass different one. Like they just picked it off of a thing and it's very different. I may be wrong about that. I'm not sure. Right. Yeah, weird holidays. Well, none of these things are listed on the Chris Things calendar, which I do need to get cracking on for the 2026 edition. That just reminds me. But
yes,
yeah,
please.
so this was our Father's Day edition. I tried to put some semblance of a sort of like Father's Day theme in here with the playlist as a whole. Wrestling dads, I guess. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you. It's funny. I had no idea how long that would run. Like that's one of those real kind of like tests for like I wasn't sure where it was going, like what sort of cultures would at, whether it would be more staying within like the American kind of like wrestling dynasties. But I was pretty impressed as a whole.
That from the match you'd already shown.
Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, like they said, shows they were paying attention, which I like
Exactly.
to I like to see. But yeah, it's funny. Like before we get into the list, I'm looking at it now, and you mentioned of like the quality of wrestling dads and whether they actually had a good relationship for the most part with their kid. And of the I guess three literal father and son combos that we had on the playlist here. I feel like one of them perhaps has had a good relationship with his kids. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad when it comes to wrestling, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably higher strike rate than normal, to be honest.
All right, but yeah, we started the night with not wrestling dad related whatsoever. I was so close to starting with the ballad of Dusty and Dustin, but I kind of thought, and it's sort of become a staple with our playlist of the last little while of getting it going with a kick-ass Joshi match. Yeah, unfortunately there was no sort of like wrestling dad element to this, but I thought, hey, we're gonna get to that, so we can start with some kick-ass Joshi All Japan Women's. So it was a rad tag, Aja Kong and Bull Nakano, terrifying duo there against Akira Hokuto and Kyoko Inoue, four of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, four of the greatest Joshi wrestlers, four of the greatest wrestlers, full stop. This was from All Japan Women's June 3rd, 1993. I feel like I recall you enjoyed this quite a bit. Mm.
Then doing a tag match probably makes it a bit easier for them. I don't know. But then it's also the story they tell, having these great finishes, which are really iconic, being countered, and then the counter itself being countered, creates a really fun spectacle to watch as a viewer. And it's funny, I was thinking about, I think one of the things I admire so much about Joshi is, we watch these matches, and we're watching obviously with the Japanese commentary. So the wrestlers have no help, if you like, for me as an audience member. They're not there's anything that the announcers are saying. I'm not getting any of the storyline that's being put over. I'm not getting any of that added context. I'm just getting and reacting purely to what I'm seeing, and yet it's still such a clear and fantastic story to watch. So I really can't speak highly enough about it.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we're back. I officially cursed us earlier on, but knock on wood that we're okay for here on out. But I believe just coming back there, I was reacting to what you mentioned about just how how much you dug the match, and for me, like how visually distinctive like everyone was in this, and how just immediately you can look at any four of these women and just feel like you totally can just sum up their vibe at a glance. And I think that's so perfect for professional wrestling in that way. And it really, I feel like, made this work so well And also, like, to what you said before is, about how fast a clip they were wrestling at. Like, this didn't feel like it went for very long, but I think in reality this was like over a 20-minute match, maybe 25.
Really?
So one of the longest Joshi ones I'd played as well.
No, well, no, that surprised me. I would have said 15 minutes maybe, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so really, really just blew by. Maybe a tad under 20. I can't remember exactly, but I remember it was long enough to where when I was putting the playlist together, I was like, "Ooh, we got quite a few decent length matches in here." So it wasn't just all short matches kind of evening. The other thing for this one, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the main version of this match that I found that was in the higher quality actually had the entrances cut off, which I'm always quite sad about. So I had to find a really quite questionable quality version of it so I could make sure to include those incredible entrances as well. Oh yeah.
So, um, and Hokuto are the same in many ways. So it just makes it such an enjoyable match to watch. If you're a layman, but if you love your wrestling, then you'll also just, think it's really special.
Yeah, I was happy with my decision in hindsight to start it out hot with the great Joshi wrestling. I feel like it always sets us up for a successful wrestling club evening.
Last match are the two hottest matches, so you can always almost swap them. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I was happy about that. And also, it always brings me a lot of joy for, the scratch regulars or whoever's there to be like, what's this wrestling club then? And then just this incredible early 90s Japanese women's wrestling.
Don't see that level of match in women's wrestling, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm hoping there were a few blokes that went home to their wife after the scratch, seeing a little bit of wrestling club. And like, there's some wrestling on, and these bloody Japanese ladies, they really go hard, hey? Oh, incredible.
And the fact that, like all Joshi matches, they just bash the ever-loving shit out of each other. And I don't know how these women, some of them, like Audrey Kong, sorry, still occasionally wrestling here and there.
She's still wrestling like a pretty hectic schedule. Like, not even occasionally. She's like, I'd have to look at her cage match listing, but I feel like she's definitely at least wrestling a handful of matches a month.
Crazy for someone with that many miles in so many hard-hitting matches to be able to still do it.
Of these four, I think Kyoko Noe is still wrestling as well. Bull Nakano and Hokuto, the two that have hung it up since then. Right.
Go there, spoke a bit of English. It's like, no, this woman is a maniac.
Yeah, flashback to her just being an absolute demon.
Yeah.
Man. All right. So after that one, we did get into the straight up Father's Day stuff, and I thought I had to start it out with the this was probably the one I put the most work into in terms of like ganging up like all those incredible promos and the build up to this match. But so that being Dusty and Dustin reuniting. I think the first time in WCW at least, teaming as father and son against the dastardly stud stable of Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck. This one took place at Clash at the Champions 28 on August 24th, 1994 in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And yeah, man, I feel like just going through these promos, this is a big call, but I feel like these are both the greatest promo I've ever heard Dustin Rhodes cut, and I think I'll even say that for Dusty as well. This is just some magical stuff, and dude, just the whole story of them coming back together, and then of course it being against none other than Dusty's longtime nemesis, that egg-sucking dog, Terry Funk. Dude, I had so much love for this, and getting to watch it together with everybody, it just made me so happy.
It was enjoyed by everyone. I mean, this might have been when we put these together with we talked about them last time with all the Piper Buzz Sawyer promos. Might be the greatest collection of promos we've had in a wrestling club single night. Maybe we could debate that, but like,
I think you might be right.
But it's also not surprising, right? Because you've got Terry Funk, an incredible promo going up against Dusty, and Dusty. A few of us said it there on the night. If Dusty wasn't a professional wrestler, he had to have been some kind of Baptist preacher of a mega church somewhere in the South, because it's just that same rhythm and dynamism that he's sort of obviously got some plan of what he's going to say, but also when he hits on something, he's like a great comedian riffing almost, and he hits on a vein, and then he just repeats that vein. Like, what was the one in one of these promos? Like, when you walk behind, you're always a walk behind her, a walk behind her.
The view never changes on
That's right.
On Anderson.
On Anderson. I've never heard Arn Anderson's name pronounced that way. Anderson, just put that extra bit of southern sauce on everything he says. And it is stuff like this where you're like, again, we've said it before, like Dusty, to an outsider, you might be surprised that this guy's a legend of professional wrestling. Like, people think it's, Hulk Hogan and all this type of thing. But you only have to watch one of these promos and you get it immediately. Like, this is why, it's not the only reason, obviously, but this is one of the core reasons why this guy is an absolute legend.
Like, he commands a room like no one else, and it's like one of my favorite things that I noticed like during this was like, even like when playing it at the scratch, it's like, a lot of people there clearly like there for whatever. I felt like when Dusty was talking, there did become like a bit of a hush over the room, everyone to just listen to this strange middle-aged bulbous man just oh man, electricity just coming out of his very being. It's incredible.
Yeah, as you say, this man, bleach blonde, his ramen noodle hair, and his cut up forehead, and his double denim, and just everything about him, fantastic. And then the match was good as well.
Yeah, dude. It's almost like with the incredible promos, the match can be a bit of an afterthought, but like I mean, in a way, that this match is still kind of like a build in of itself to the big War Games match that is to come, with Dusty and Dustin teaming up with the Nasty Boys against the whole stud stable. Which to me, one of the greatest War Games matches of all time. But I mean, in and of itself, this match itself was like a really great piece of business. I really enjoyed it. You had Dusty just commanding the room and looking just absolutely incredible. Like some really good like work by Bunkhouse Buck and Terry Funk, and just sort of like looking like these dirty assholes, like. And I just thought the whole thing was like really fun. Like, you got the best of, I felt, everybody concerned. I really love, like, the more I watch him as I get older, Bunkhouse Buck, just such an underrated worker. And yeah, then and the end of this being the big thing with Dusty and Meng. I thought this whole thing, and like the crowd absolutely insane as well. Like, this really showed that even after Hogan and crew come in, but before the NWO comes about, there was some absolute magic about WCW during this time.
Yeah, it's interesting, both this and that new generation era and what was then WWF. It sort of gets um, shit on a lot because of all the endless parade of, docos about attitude and the NWO and all that type of stuff. It just kind of, I think, as naturally happens, you always want to say, oh, it was all crap, and then this came along and it changed everything. But in both cases, there's a huge amount of good stuff occurring. Um,
Mm.
it's just probably that the branding is not as united as what it becomes, right, in the Attitude Era and in the Nitro and WO stuff. But yeah, Bunkhouse Buck, big dude, moves around really, really well, gets up, is not a slow man at all. And this is that period of time too where um, Dustin, you forget how big he is, I think, because of the different characters he played, but especially in this period, he's a lot thicker, but he's a big dude. And you see him standing next to Dusty, and he's clearly got a few inches in height on Dusty.
And he could move like a madman as well. Like, in his comeback in this, he was just flying all about with those, like, leaping, like, clotheslines and the big bulldog and everything. Like, he could really go.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of movement in the match, which is very fun, and then you've got Terry Funk doing his Terryisms with the ropes.
Oh, we definitely got the Terry shtick. It made me so happy.
Hanging by his feet, can't get up. What a legend as well. So I know it always makes you happy.
Can I ask, of the promos? Now, this might be a bit of a divisive question. So we got the big one, that's the famous one, the View Never Changes promo, where they have the big reuniting moment, and Dusty's asking if he can be Dustin's partner after Arn Anderson screwed him over. And they have the big thing and the hug at the end. That honestly, that promo, like, I couldn't barely watch it without shedding a tear. It's that beautiful. But then the one that I feel doesn't get quite as much love that I made sure to include is that one from WCW Saturday Night before the Clash, where Dusty and Dustin are together talking to Mean Gene, both just like talking at the camera, talking at the stud stable, telling everybody at home what they got to come to expect this coming week at the Clash. And man, that is an absolutely incredible promo to me as well. Like, again, like the fire in it, give me goosebumps to watch. Both some magical stuff from both guys. So, can I ask, of the two, which was your favorite?
It is the View Never Changes one. I think because the View
Yeah.
Never like it is. But I mean, I take nothing away from the other one either. They're both incredible. But the View Never Changes one. That's where that Baptist preacher sort of vibe comes out in Dusty. Like, you feel like that's there's a great Instagram account, side note, called Pastors with Props, and it's just a bunch of mega church pastors, and it's all feels like it should be in Righteous Gemstones, except it's too ridiculous. And it's similar stuff, except they've usually got some kind of prop with them, and it's just saying stuff that sort of makes sense, but also the more you unpack it, it doesn't. And it's just that delivery, that sort of orator that Dusty is. It's pretty incredible. I don't know how you beat it.
Oh man, he is just. There's a reason why people say Dusty greatest promo of all time. And when you watch some of this stuff, it's hard to deny it. But yeah, something really wonderful about this era of him being like the old man Dusty. Like the amount of times that he said the big old butt, spindly-legged old man, but he's gonna do his best. And there's something like about that aging gunslinger thing that I'm so mad about. Makes me so happy to see. But yeah, there's so much wonderful different eras of Dusty, but this is a particularly special one to me, I'd say. But then we jump over to a completely different Lucha, the world of Lucha Libre. We've got CMLL Arena Mexico. This match took place on the 23rd of September 2022. A match that I was one of my favourite matches from CMLL of that year. And it was father and son, so Blue Panther teaming with his son Dark Panther against the father and son duo of Panterita del Ring, who was formerly Efesto, I believe, of part of the team of Efesto, Mephisto, and Averno. But as his original character, or at least his one that he had prior to that he then brought back, Panterita del Ring, and his son, Panterita del Ring Jr., also known as the current version of Máscara Dorada. And this match, I remember it being really great, but then re-watching it, I forgot how long it went. I stand by playing it because I thought this was such a beautiful father and son match, and I thought it told such a wonderful story.
Yeah, amazing match. And again, Father's Day, and there's something so sweet about seeing Blue Panther with, obviously he doesn't have his mask on at this point in his career. Again, like talking about older men, aged gunslingers, this guy who looks like sort of could just be sort of an older Mexican dude you run into in Mexico City, but no, it's Blue Panther looking $1,000,000, having a great match. Yeah, really enjoyed this. 2 out of 3 falls, of course, and
Classic.
yep. So it's all there. The the when we get the view from the camera from the top, looking down at the mat, and it's just a gigantic 3D printed ad for car batteries and some other car parts, which is so funny because if this was like if AEW WWE did it, I'd kind of be weirdly annoyed. I'd be like, oh, come on. But there's something charming about it in CMLL when they do it. I think, oh, okay, there you go. I never knew that brand existed, let alone could sponsor a whole mat graphic. But
it's so good. I love it. And it also harkens back to what I've spoken to some of my friends in Mexico about, kind of what makes some things like a Mexican aesthetic. Like if you're talking about like art or like advertising or whatever, anything that's like visual graphic kind of wise. And one thing that they mentioned that really stayed with me was like it's very Mexican. You don't leave any space unused. Like in sort of Western design concepts, and a lot of what I learned in graphic design school, it's like the importance of rest space, giving things room to breathe, all that kind of stuff. I remember when I was catching up, and it might have been when I was talking with Eric Jam, actually, and he said, like, it's very Mexican to just not waste any space. And that so flows over to this, like that every bit of Arena Mexico on the ringside area has some sort of advertising graphic on it, and I kind of love it.
yeah, no, I love it too. And then the other thing, of course, is the timing of this. We've got a ref wearing a sparkly COVID mask. So which is a little reminder of the times we're living in then. But no, I really enjoyed this match a lot. And Blue Panther, speaking of people still doing it, still having great matches, somehow defying age.
I mean, looking back, I feel like this was really kind of like part of him getting that ascension to just becoming I mean, he was still obviously very much beloved here, but it feels like it's gone to an absolute next stratosphere like more recently, especially like this year. And so it's interesting to see like it gone from there to now. We've just gone from strength to strength. I hope it just lasts forever.
Yeah, that's a good conversation piece. And like, I'll be very clear before I say this, these are two very different people, very different wrestlers. But it does feel like in wrestling, if you just stay around long enough, you will become beloved. If you just keep at it. And Blue Panther's different because of like just how good Blue Panther is. But like there's currently something going on like that with John Cena, where I mean, famously, a divisive wrestler with half the crowd saying that, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. All the criticisms of John Cena are out there. But now that it's his final year, it's suddenly people are having legit conversations. Is like, is he one of the best to ever wrestle in WWE? And I just feel like I'm losing my marbles. Like,
I know, it's such a ridiculous thing for me, but also just hilarious that you take that of like this period where everyone wants to kind of have that fun nostalgia. It's like, you know what we should do? How about we turn this guy heel? No one will expect it. It's like, yeah, no one expects it because it's the dumbest thing you possibly could have done.
Yes. Again, I don't want to digress into WWE bashing, but it is that weird thing where now we're all talking about this guy like he is the second coming of Ricky Steamboat or something like this. And you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, and the thing is, I like John Cena as a dude. Like, I see him in Peacemaker and other things. Like, I like him as a person, but God, I struggle to watch his matches even now, I have to say.
Yeah, it's a very much a thing in wrestling where you have so many of these characters, they get to a certain age and they just become so beloved that even if they are, like long time heels, people just want to cheer them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of times that Terry Funk or Ric Flair, like in their older age, they're like clearly they really want to be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone just loves them so darn much that they're not gonna let them get away with it, and it just feels like they're swimming upstream to try to still get that like heel reaction because everyone just like wants to give them their flowers and love them so much.
I wonder why people even like why they don't just accept that that's what's going to happen. Like I even saw an interview this week with Bryan Danielson talking about that in his final sort of year of active wrestling with AEW. Like he wanted to be more of a heel. And he talked about loving to work heel, but that the crowd just really wasn't into it. And it's like, yeah, of course they're not, because they really like you and they know you're going away, so they don't really want to. We all know what's going on here. We want to celebrate you, so in that respect, I get it. But then, miss me with the conversations about the greatness of John Cena, I guess is what I'm saying.
But yeah, hopefully no one on God's green earth needs to be convinced of the greatness of Blue Panther. Because you watch him in any second of this and you're just like, yep, I get it. This old man bloody rocks.
Put him in a ring with Cody Rhodes. Have him take the responsibility. I love Cody Rhodes. Now we're talking.
Oh, but I think the really fun thing about this that I forgot about, before rewatching it at Wrestling Club here, was how much of a funny like dynamic it was that they had both of the dads wanting to be supportive of the other son. And that went through the match. There was a point where I remember when Blue Panther was just so stoked about Panterita Del Ring Jr. that he was like, "Good job, man, good job," and then his son's like, "Hey man, I'm your son." But then, by the end, we got the big double count out, and then each dad's trying to help the other son into the ring, and then by the end, they're finished. Everyone's giving them a standing ovation for the draw, which was quite a wonderful finish as well. Like a lot of the time, you get the draws and people like booing or whatever because they want 5 more minutes or whatever the dumb chant is. But everyone was just like so happy with what they got. It's like in that crowd, it felt like no one was asking for it to go longer. Everyone just thought it was great. These old men are like having the other guy's son up on their shoulders, just celebrating around the ring. And I just thought there was such a wholesome, wonderful moment to finish on.
Perfect for Father's Day.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And harkening back to what I said before, this is the one where I feel like I gotta believe Blue Panther's a good dad. Like of the three, I know obviously Dustin has mentioned his times, which is the whole thing about the promo of his issues with Dusty, and him, as Dusty said himself, him what was his word? He abandoned him kind of thing. But yeah, and then our other wrestling dad that we have to get to, Fritz, probably not winning any Father of the Year award. But of the three, I feel like this is the one where Blue Panther's got to be a great dad, right?
Well, he's also multiple sons have gone into wrestling now, so so there must be something there.
Yeah, he hooked them all up.
Yeah.
We've got both a Hijo del Blue Panther and a Blue Panther Jr. and a Dark Panther. So
All I can say is, Lord help us if in about 25 years they make the Blue Claw, and it's all about what a terrible father Blue Panther was. And we're like, oh no, what have we done? We've been lied to.
I refuse to believe it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so now we go fast forward into the part where, on from our last podcast, it's hard to not absolutely adore those lead up promos with Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer and Roddy Piper leading up to the incredible dog collar chain match from the Omni, August 14th, 1983, that we spoke about last time. But man, watching those promos all together at the scratch was so much fun, and hearing everyone react to them, and dude, so pat on the back for you, man. That was an excellent idea.
Oh, well, no, my pleasure. Thank you for letting me watch them all again. And as you say, like it did add something to it, just watching everyone's reaction to the Buzz Sawyer doing his neck bridges in his tight jeans.
I cannot believe the gooch did not tear on those jeans, might I say.
Right at the camera. We would have seen everything. He asked directed pointed, which is weird too, right? Because he's doing neck bridges. Shouldn't you be doing them the other way, facing the camera, so we can all see this neck? You know, like,
well, I think we ended up getting both. We got like balls to the camera to start, and then he like went around and did it the other way afterwards. So we got best of both worlds there.
both buzzes.
But I mean, especially what you said last time as well. The great pop we got when like the random people walking by the Roddy Piper promo.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. And they went all in one take. Then he busts the beer bottle on his head, and then the little dog that's wearing a little bandana to mock Buzz Sawyer is fantastic. And it's just sitting in the back of his pickup truck, this poor little Italian greyhound or whatever it is, scared out of its mind.
Oh my gosh, there was so much to love about all of this, and it just felt like a fever dream watching it all together. It just and yeah, I think I also got to have a newfound respect for how amazing Precious Paul Ellering is. Just what a great heel manager, and just everything about this. Gordon Soley, I cannot say enough good things about both the lead up to this. And also, obviously, the magic matches we were raving about last time.
And again, I think that was something everyone enjoyed. Not many people have seen a dog collar match, and they get to see one with those two, and to see such a great one is really cool.
Yeah, no, it was my pleasure to get to share this absolute greatness with everybody. Made me so happy. And so after that, we cut over to a tremendous Harley Race promo that I came across that I thought just did such a great job of capturing the sort of sincere, dry, like just. There's no one quite like Harley Race. And just that promo where he wasn't even raising his voice, he was talking so quietly, so earnestly to the camera about why he is the best wrestler in the world, and he's got the belts to show it, and he's, prove that against everyone. Like, it was sort of like a promo that just works against whoever he happens to be wrestling coming up. But I just... Did you catch much of this on the night?
Yeah, I saw it. It's interesting, though, isn't it? It's like Harley Race's whole thing is very much like believability. Like, you are supposed to believe that this is the baddest motherfucker on the planet. And that's what the promo is trying to get across, and, for his time too, like, we see a lot now, but he's got the tattoos on his arms and that, which is pretty unusual for wrestlers, or athletes at that time. He just looks like a hard man. And,
man, just the whole body as well. I think I said someone on the night, I'm like, I want my wrestlers to look like Harley Race. Just stocky, big belly, just looks like he will clean up anybody in that bar. That is a bloody man right there.
Yep. It's a great look. And then a great match.
Yeah, so we then jump over to St. Louis Wrestling, May 27th, 1979, for one of my favorite overall segments, angle match that I've ever seen from the St. Louis territory. Remember, I originally saw this on it was sort of like a best of St. Louis Wrestling set, and I remember when I watched this just like it really stayed with me how just a well done thing this was of like getting over David Von Erich as like a top level baby face. Like you could do this angle exactly the way they did it today, and I feel like it would make a guy like a young dude into being a main event title challenger. Because the way they set it up, we have the name of this incredible commentators escaping me for the moment, but the classic St. Louis wrestling commentator mentioning how Harley himself has been the one who put out the challenge. He wants to take on both Fritz and David on at the same night. We're going to do one after the other. It's got a 30-minute time limit. We get one, and then if they can't, if they don't get the win over Harley, he has to beat both of them in succession. So we basically set it up like he's going to dispatch with one, then he's going to get to the other.
Mm-hmm.
But then the whole thing of the match is that he ends up going with David first, and then David just shocking the world, actually beating Harley Race within I think it was 15 minutes, in such a divisive, like a strong, clean manner, and basically making himself into a legit NWA World Heavyweight Championship contender all in one moment. And of course we have Fritz as the proud dad through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought this whole thing is so great. Like maybe a bit of a weird choice again to include Fritz and Eric and the Father's Day thing, but there was some weird niceness about this, right? Am I nuts in saying that?
No. I think because you saw that, I actually think that his happiness is quite genuine in that moment, as much as it's in the ring. I think he's thinking, "Good job on the match, well done. You've really done, what we wanted this match to do." So I actually think his happiness is genuine, Fritz's. And then something we talked about the night is just how iconic the Iron Claw is as a finisher and why it works so well. It's just, remember reading that the Mick Foley book years ago now, but like he talks about that, right, with the mandible claw, like you can do it to anybody, you can do it to someone big, you can do it to someone small, and the Iron Claw is the same thing. And then in this match, you get that great. I'd have to watch it again to try and spot it, but like just in the moment watching it, not clear where Harley blades himself, but he does. So you've got this great visual, the Iron Claw in his head, and it looks like his head's about to pop like a melon or something, because he's just got blood coming down over his face at the same time.
Such incredible visual, like just the claw and all of Von Erichs as well, part that people don't necessarily mention all the time. They've all actually got massive hands.
Yes.
So it really adds to the belief that I imagine a guy who just has massive hands and wild tendon strength. That's gonna really hurt.
Yeah.
And then having that on and the blood just flowing down. Like Harley did a heck of a crimson mask here. It was just running down like his arm as well. Heck of a visual. There's another match that's absolutely incredible with Fritz Von Erich wrestling Giant Baba in Japan, where they do the same deal, and Baba is just bleeding from the Iron Claw. Absolutely incredible visual, but. Yeah, dude, I really, really like this. It was probably the slowest match of the night, but I got a lot of joy in rewatching it, and I feel like just that moment at the end of the whole, Kevin was there as well. Really was a nice kind of moment there, and it made you feel like the biggest thing, what could have been of David, as NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. And David's the one, right, that was sort of he was viewed as the one with the most promise. Is that,
Yeah,
yeah, like before obviously all the horrendous tragedies occurred, but like he was the one that they thought was really going to be the one.
yeah. He definitely was seen as being the one. I mean, I feel like I remember reading that that his NWA title reign was already kind of like officially locked in at the
Mm.
point that he died. So, for them to sign and seal that definitely says a lot about the NWA committee at that time, and how good David was, and how much everyone had confidence in him being the guy, like to be the babyface, to be touring and going to all the different territories. But yeah, I mean, and it's not shitting on Kerry as well, because I feel like Kerry was amazing in his own way, very different to David. Like both had, I think both in the best way had like this amazing babyface charisma, like a natural,
Hmm.
authentic babyface charisma that so few people have these days.
Mm. Yeah, that kind of homegrown all-American vibe from both of them. Being from Texas as well, you know what I mean,
Mm.
adds something to it. Yeah, but it was great. Still a great match.
Yeah. I had a lot of joy rewatching this one.
Hmm.
And then to something completely different again. We fast forward to 1998 WCW. Monday Nitro, starting out with the Nitro Girls, which
Hmm.
feel like it's such a great thing, so of its time. But yeah, this took place 9th of February 1998 in El Paso, Texas. We got Perry Saturn and Ultimo Dragon, two of my favorites of that era of 90s, late 90s WCW. And I thought this was just such a fun little match.
Yeah, and what the other Perry Saturn one we had was him and Goldberg. Was that the last time we saw Perry Saturn?
Yeah, that was it. I think I've had a few Perry ones because Perry's one of my guys where it's like he so got screwed over when he came to
He
WWE,
did.
but was so perfect in WCW. Every time you saw him, he was having just an awesome match. Also, really good run in ECW, might I say. The Eliminators too. Definitely one of my longtime favorites. So more I can get across the Perry Saturn love to the rest of the world, the happier I'll be.
It's kind of shocking because, like, you would think Vince famously was a big body guy, right? Like, he wanted everyone to look
Mm.
at, and Perry Saturn was the most jacked of that cohort who came across. Is that what do they call them? The New Radicals or something like that?
Yeah, the
Oh, the
Radicals.
Radicals, sorry. New Radicals is a band.
If only we could have had them coming out to the new Radicals as their theme music.
I think honestly it was probably about the same time. It could have worked, but it's weird that I don't know the ins and outs of why, like what backstage or what or spots, but Perry Saturn wasn't given more spotlight and more to do um, in WWE. But yeah, great match. Ultimo Dragon, apart from having just a fantastic name, just throwing the word dragon into any name works for me. Um,
It's like dude is so ahead of his time. Like if people haven't seen Ultimate Dragon from like that peak sort of like mid 90s period onwards, he is so great, and I feel like this really showed off a lot of that. And also like so good to see a dude like Perry Saturn and Ultimo Dragon, who are each very distinctly different wrestlers.
mhm.
Um, but that contrast of it, I think, really made this work in a fun way. And also, like, this wasn't like the biggest, like a big deal kind of match or anything that was like promoted really ahead of time, or a pay per view match or anything like that. This is just like a random ass Nitro match, which is what I really loved about Nitro and Thunder during this time. It's like you just get random matches that are just there to be good matches. And like it is filler, and I guess that's also how I used it on this night. Like, let's just chuck this in here as a little something fun before we get to our main event. But man, if all the filler we can get in wrestling is as good as this, I'll be a happy man.
Well, see, I have a sort of a hot take, which is that like you know how good a show and or a company's doing when their mid card is filled with say stuff like this, where you know
Mm.
when your mid card is of this standard, then you're in really really good shape. to have, because almost any major promotion can have a really good main event, right? Because you're always going to have, or should hopefully be able to afford 5 or 6 top people who can put on the main event. But the real tell is what's the mid card like and what's your opener like. So for something like this to be in the mid card, just as you say on a random TV show, that's when, to me, that is what I enjoy as well. That sure, it's not a pay-per-view match. It's not the main event. It's not that. That's fine. But I'm also not, for example, okay, let's flip it around this way. If I was in attendance, I wouldn't be like, oh, great, I can go to the bathroom now, and get a drink. I don't really care about this. I'd be like, oh, no, no, I'll wait. I'll wait till this is over because this will be good. It'll keep my bum in the seat to watch it.
Yeah, and I think it says something really good about the. I had a lot of love for the WCW fans, and it feels like, in a sense, that WCW fan, as soon as WCW went out of business, they just left wrestling altogether. They were just like, all right, we're done with wrestling now. But the magical thing about the WCW fans was they reacted to wrestling, regardless of whether a dude had been built up or had a catchy entrance theme or had a bunch of introduction vignettes or promo time or all this stuff that it basically dictates today of whether a guy's gonna get a good reaction or get crickets. WCW fans at the end of the day were just there for wrestling no matter what. So you could have dudes like this where it's I don't know their level of familiarity with a Perry Saturn or as part of Raven's flock at this point, or Ultimo Dragon, but these fans were just fuck yeah, wrestling, we're here for it.
Yeah. The only person who's like that currently, in a major promotion that I've seen, what you're talking about, is sort of what happened in the last 12 months with Io Sky or Io Shirai. Is I still believe they didn't really intend to give her any kind of push in WWE. It's that she's consistently the best wrestler in the entire company, basically, and the fans just started reacting to the work that she was doing, and they decided to run with it. But apart from that, you're right. If you don't have the rest of the whole kit and caboodle, you don't really get far anymore. Certainly not in WWE.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, I think. And you do see it in both companies, in AEW too, where dudes who haven't been set up for success with a bunch of promo time or whatever it is, those fans are going to basically sit on their hands for them until they're given a reason not to. Whereas these fans just regardless if you're really good at wrestling, they'll react to you. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
It is good for the wrestlers.
Yeah, for sure. And also happy to see Perry Saturn getting a win here, which I wasn't necessarily expecting.
Yeah.
Happy for him. Perry Saturn with hair as well. I think the last couple I've had this era, you often forget that Perry had the hair when he grew it out.
True. No, that's true, actually. The last, certainly Goldberg one, he's bald.
Yeah. But, all right, then we have our main event here, a match, symbolic wrestling dads rather than literal wrestling dads. But this is another match where when I was, thinking this up, which, as I mentioned, was, it was a fun thing to try to do, to come up with matches that kind of resonate in a wrestling dads kind of manner. And I thought, all right, for Japanese wrestling, this is it. This is the one that I have to play. Again, ended up being a bit of a long match, but I still absolutely loved it. So Kenta Kobashi and famed protege Kenta, who was his namesake, against Kensuke Sasaki and protege Katsuhiko Nakajima. And this took place in Pro Wrestling Noah. Great Voyage 2008, June 14th in Yokohama. And yeah, again, this just gave me so much joy to get to rewatch, but also to get to rewatch in all of y'all's company.
Exactly what I guess you'd expect with these four men. Just some brutal strikes, some sweat flying off people from chops. Great Kenta, this great era of Kenta, the young, the perfect young punk, upstart,
Mm.
arrogant, but still so good wrestler. What a great match.
It was just a fun one to like. I feel like maybe now a few wrestling clubs in, we've had a bit of pro wrestling Noah across the board, and I guess like this is kind of that real peak period, maybe the end of the peak glory days, I guess. Like those glory days, looking back, kind of really were with the last days of Kobashi. And obviously, after like Misawa passed away, Noah went through some tough times. So this was probably like the last of the peak, I guess, when you're looking at it that way.
Mm.
But that like mid 2000s, early 2000s period of Noah, it's just some of the best wrestling you'll ever see in the history of the world. And yeah, I feel like just four so interesting, dynamic characters here as well. Like both young guys are not really playing like the respectful young guy role very much. Like they're
Nope.
both there just ready to anger the senpai or veteran on the other side any which way they can. And the daddy on each side is not there to be fucked with
No.
in any sense.
No.
And so it just creates such a wonderful dynamic that, in some ways it just sort of like it just keeps coming around, but it just gets better and better and better. And yeah, for a match this long, I also was quite heartened by how much it seemed like everyone like stayed into the match like all the way through, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, and it's funny too, like it's a good period. You're talking about it being a golden period. It's good because you've got Kenta and well, not sorry, not Kenta, but Kobashi. He's older, but he's not so old that he's not. Do you know what I mean? He's fading really. Like he can still, when he has to lay the smack down on people, he does. And so
Mm.
it's that great thing of like they're not too old and these guys aren't too inexperienced. They're all in a really nice spot in terms of capability and how they can go, if that makes sense. So
Mm.
that's why you get such a good match out of it. Like if Kobashi's 3 or 4 years older, maybe it's not quite as good from his, just depending. So it's like that's the other thing I enjoyed about it as well.
Yeah, I mean it is definitely towards the end of Kobashi, like in terms of his career.
Mm.
I feel like he hung it up. Let me have a little look here. So this one took place in 2008. I feel like, all right, this isn't helping me here, but he definitely retired not long after this match. And I think he did a really like he hung it up like you're saying before he was at the point where he couldn't go anymore.
Yeah.
Which I think is it's a really good thing when that happens because you don't get that very often in professional wrestling. But I watched this and I was like, for my expectations of kind of like older age Kobashi, like this blew those expectations out of the water. I forgot how like awesome and hard hitting he still was.
Yeah. And to your point though, like there's a version of Kobashi's career where he goes longer and he's in tag teams and all he does is come in and do some chops, hit a burning lariat, and then tag back out. Do you know what I mean? He could have done that, could have coasted on that.
Mm.
But he's doing a lot more than that here. And I mean, how red his chest gets from the slaps and the chops, quite something by the end of it as well.
Yeah. He officially wrapped it up in 2013, so we lasted a little bit after this, but not too much longer.
And this was, sorry, what year was this? 2008?
2008.
Right. So yeah, so even then, like if this is let's say 3 years later, do you know what I mean? 2 years before his retirement or something, like he's still got it here. He's absolutely still got it.
Yeah, and like you say, it's so good to see Kenta at just this like peak young dickhead.
Yeah.
And also just mind blowing to see Nakajima as great as he was, as young as he was too.
I don't know whether Kent is playing into this or this is just my like watching, but like the haircut I don't know, maybe it's just of the time, but the haircut that Kenta has and just his vibe is very like young punk Yakuza kind of
Mm.
vibe, the disrespectful, wild Yakuza who's trying to be kept in check by like the old, more respectful boss or the old, more respectful enforcer. But this young guy's going to get you in trouble because he's going to fly off the handle and pick off more than he can chew. And the way in which Kenta picks on someone and then just gets smacked into the floor by a lariat or a chop or something or a kick. So brutal. It's so fun to watch, though.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't stop him from keeping on
Nope.
keeping on coming back.
Doesn't learn his lesson. Does not learn his lesson.
Oh man, so good. And yeah, I thought this was the perfect way to end our Father's Day thing of the perfect father and son, if not literal, at least still father and son to me. Damn it.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Well done.
Yeah, dude. Well, thank you so much for getting a chat about it. It's nice to do a little debrief, I reckon.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Just extend our wrestling club joy even further.
Yes,
And encourage others to come.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a little community going there, which always makes me so happy.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks again, man, and I'll let you get out of here. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you soon. If not, I'll definitely hopefully see you at our next wrestling club.
Hell yeah.
All right. See you later, my dude.
Science.
All right. Oh, that was so good. Thanks again to Joe for chopping it up on our playlist summary. And now I feel like it is time for us to jump back into the night that was at the conclusion, when we are all good and significantly drunker than I am now, to go around the room and see what everyone who was still there at that point, what their thoughts were, what their favourite match was of what we just discussed. Let's see what we got. Starting out with Joe, so we saw a lot of things tonight. We started out with some great Joshi stuff. We got some Von Erichs. We got some Dusty and Dustin. Of course, Buzz Sawyer, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, Roddy Piper. Can we just say the best match is that hype video? Man. Dude, and then finishing up with Kenta Kobashi and Kenta against Kensuke Sasaki and Katsuhiko Nakajima in maybe the best Big Tough Dad versus Young Punk Kid match of all time. What was your favourite, my friend?
I'll select the Joshi match just to stay on my brand.
For consistency.
Just because of the legends involved. Yeah, I'll go with that one.
This was Akira Hokuto and Kyoko Inoue against Aja Kong and Bull Nakano. Heck of a match.
Unbelievable, yeah.
What was it about it specifically that spoke to you this time?
The pace of the match, the innovation in the match, and something you mentioned in it, they'll have a move, a counter move, but then a counter to a counter. So someone will avoid a finishing move, but then get countered from something else. So avoiding Aja Kong's spinning back fist only to get clobbered in the back of the head. And still, yeah, so I'll go with that one.
It's like they learnt from this, but they still didn't learn from this thing.
There's levels to this shit, baby. That's what they're saying.
It's so good. Man, this just keeps going. We got this in the background. They ain't stopping. What do we got, my friend? What was your favourite thing?
Probably Perdidas versus Blue Panther and Black Panther.
Oh man, I almost forgot about that
Yeah.
somehow. The Lucha Dads match, Dads and Sons.
Yeah, it just had everything you need. Blue Panther is just very entertaining to watch and so much cool lucha.
Can I ask
Good
if
lucha
you've
thing.
seen Mascara Dorada in his previous incarnation here as Panterita
No,
Del
I
Ring
haven't.
Jr.?
I hadn't seen him in this incarnation before.
So good. Would recommend. Well, that makes me very happy to hear. Anytime anyone gives some admiration to Blue Panther, I'm a happy man. Thank you. Abby, what was yours?
Yeah, I think I agree. The Blue Panther was so good. I just love anytime I see like that stage come up, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good one. And yeah, just so much athleticism and also like showmanship. Like it just got me real hyped.
Oh yeah. It's impossible not to be hyped when Blue Panther just does this, like, I can't believe I pulled that off. It's so
car battery.
And the
Car battery advertising.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. Thanks so much, guys.
Live?
Yeah.
Okay.
James, what do you got?
Roddy Piper and Mad Dog, I think. You can't go past a chain match, can you?
Oh my gosh.
And a collar, chain collar. It's great. What can I say?
I got to give credit on that one. Almost was not going to include that. I was talking to Joe on the podcast about it the other week, and we watched. I sent him the links to these hype videos, and he was like, "Dude, these."
Yeah, the hype videos of the lead up to it are probably better than the match itself. But, pretty funny. It was great. Yeah.
Can I ask which was your favourite of the hype videos in that case? Because for me, I don't think I can pick a favourite child amongst those. What about you?
Well, it's the two moments. It's the random people walking in the background. That's great. But also like when Mad Dog is just walking through the water, like pointlessly. It's like, what is going on here? It's so good. It's great. Yeah.
One of my real favourite moments that Joe drew attention to was the start of it when Buzz is just doing these weird stretches where he just feels like he just wants to show his butt.
It's like twerking almost. It's like slow twerks. Yeah.
So good. Yeah, amazing stuff. Over here. What do we got as our favourite thing of the evening, guys?
I think I'd have to agree with Mad Dog getting in a brown creek and hitting a tree with a chain for his, training regimen. And then I think he had a sip of it too at one stage.
Yeah, he was like,
that's going to improve your fortitude for sure. Having
Or
that inside
dysentery.
you. Yeah, or death.
I'd say mine's that hype video and then the Chop Daddies at the end. They were
Chop Daddy.
Chop Zaddies?
Yeah.
Chop Zaddies? Yeah.
Right. It just finished on the screen. It was Kenta and Kobashi versus Sasuke and Nakajima, who I didn't even recognize as Nakajima. I'm like, who's this young guy, Chris? He's like Nakajima. I'm like, fucking Nakajima? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh! Because he's like 17 in this match and kicking the shit out of everyone. And it was fantastic. That was, I'm always, a Kenta match is always going to be, by default, probably the match that needs to be beaten. But then they were just doing all the things I love in wrestling. Just absolutely chopping and kicking the hell out of each other. And I love it.
So I agree with you, Brad. That was officially my favourite match of the evening. Just barely beating out the Dusty and Dustin one. Because, obviously how much love I had for that with Terry Funk and everything. But, yeah, dude, there was a point in that one where you're just like, this is getting kind of repetitive, but I think that's making it even better. We just got dads slapping one another in the titties. We just got the young boys kicking the shit out of one another, and it just kept happening and kept getting better. And yeah, man, just dad dicking each other off. It was the best thing ever. I loved it. Yep. Ding ding. Thank you, everyone. Wrestling Club. I think tonight was a success. Thanks so much. Thank you. Okay, there we are. That was Wrestling Club 13. Happy Father's Day at the scratch. Thank you so much to everyone there on the night that was. If any of you all happened to be listening to this back, thank you for your attendance and for being such a part of a wonderful evening. Made me so happy to be able to do it. And then thank you as well to all of y'all listening to this in your ear holes right now. It means a lot to me to try to bring you guys in, to be part of the wrestling club, to be part of this deal. That's why I try to put this stuff in, here in audio form in the podcast, because I know, a lot of people, it's probably not too practical to get to Brisbane, Australia, to catch Wrestling Club, but hopefully I can do a little something to try to transport you there in spirit. But no, I have a lot of fun doing this thing, and it makes me really happy to get to share my passions with other folks and get to nerd out about it all together. So yeah, fun time had by me at least. But yeah, guys, I guess this is episode 84 of the podcast. Hopefully we'll be back on track in the near future to get caught up on some more of the match of the week stuff. As mentioned, I recorded a whole episode with David last week to get caught up on two ones that, might I say, fantastic podcast. Maybe one of my best yet. We had some great stuff. There was a literal part where I spat my water at something that David said, but sadly the audio was not recording, so here's what it is. We'll see what we can do to fix that up. But no, I'd like to say a big thank you again to you guys, to everyone that supports, everyone that supports in a financial sense of buying the things, of buying the my art or prints of my art or t-shirts or whatever it might be at christhings.com.au. Please know I very much appreciate it, and it gives me the ability to keep doing this as a full-time job, which honestly means so much to me. But also thank you so much just to everyone who supports in any sense by listening to this, by recommending this weird niche podcast to a friend, or just for following along on Instagram and chiming in and sharing the things and having supportive comments or messages here and there. Always just that's what keeps me going, guys. So thank you to the great team at Social Suplex for allowing me to do this thing. Giving me the platform to spurt my nonsense. Socialsuplex.com, home to this podcast as well as a variety of other rad wrestling podcasts from One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, Imp's WW Adventure, All Things Elite. I think there might be an AEW match recommendation podcast. At least there was at some point. Oh god, Trish and Sarah podcast, Tunnel Talk, all the things, and also thank you so much to anyone who donates. I think that's a thing as well that I hear people do from time to time. So even just a few bucks here and there, shout me a coffee or whatnot. I see that come through, and it makes me gives me a big old smile. So thank you so much, anyone who does that every now and then. But I think that's about us for this episode. Perhaps stay tuned after the outro for a little Easter egg that I think will put a smile on your dial. But yeah, guys, this has been the Wrestling Club. This has been a week in my life, and this is Wrestling Art with Chris Things. You guys make sure you have a wonderful week. Please feel welcome to swing me a message and say hello if you ever would like to. But thanks, team. I'll see you later. Bye.
Turkey
All systems operating within normal design parameters.
Welcome back to more exciting action here on Saturday night. My guests at this time are going to be involved in a big tag team match this Wednesday night at the Clash of the Champions. Please welcome father and son, the American Dream, Dusty, and the Natural, Dustin Rhodes. This coming Wednesday live here on TBS at 8:05 at the Clash of Champions. Bunkhouse Buck and Terry Funk, the shock troops of Colonel Parker, are going to be facing these two men reunited with your father, Dustin.
You know, Gene, this has been a very emotional time for me. I made a terrible mistake by picking Arn Anderson to be my partner, and it cost me a broken arm. But I can take that. Because if you're going to ride, you got to learn to fall. But then you got to pick yourself back up, get back on him, and go straight forward. And sooner or later, somebody or something's going to step in your way, and you just mow them over because that's all you know. Arn Anderson comes out here, talks about intestinal fortitude. Well, you ain't got a gut in your puny body. And you will get yours coming, but this Wednesday night at the Clash of Champions, Terry Funk, Bunkhouse Buck, I want you to know one thing. This man standing beside me right now is more powerful than anything you have ever seen in your entire life. And why? Because it's a father's love for his son. It's a son's love for his father. So Colonel Parker, you tell your boys we're coming. You tell them hell's coming, and I'm coming with him.
All right, you gotta love that. Dusty, you're gonna be back in the ring with the questions I'm asked by fans as I travel around the country. Dusty's not been in a ring for a while. Is he gonna be ready for a test like this?
Gee, let me tell you what it's really all about, baby. It's about family. It's about blood. It's about every black, white, green, yellow person walking the face of the earth, baby. That's what it's all about. Emotions carry you. Emotions, no matter what your age, carry you to do things. It is a pleasure to ride this lightning bolt with my son. It is a pleasure to ride this lightning bolt into the heartland of America. It is a pleasure to ride this lightning bolt on the Clash of Champions. It is a pleasure to kick somebody's booty on television around the world. Colonel Parker, we're talking Bunkhouse Buck. We're talking about that egg-sucking dog, Terry Funk. We're talking about the walk behind the Arn Anderson. Gentlemen, real plainly, you have an opportunity of a lifetime. You have an opportunity at greatness, but you will have to prove that this old out of shape, spindly-legged, big-butted boy from Austin, Texas can have his butt whipped in public, if you will. It is an honor to be with my son. Everybody out there, grab your son, grab your mother, grab your family, because without family, it just ain't worth it. And if they say, what about your corporate situation? They take my corporate situation and they can take